you're wondering what your life could be like if you move to Nanyuki, then this is the video for you, because I'm going to share with you what my life has been like since I moved to Nanyuki. So I made the decision to move to Nanyuki 3 years ago. And it's one of the best decisions that I made, because I decided that I'm going to live my life in one of my favorite places. I used to come to Nanyuki a lot. I would come, just put my dog. Back then I had another dog, same breed as Ninja. He was a mini pincher. He died of old age. But I would put him in the car and would just find ourselves coming to Nanyuki. We spent the weekend in Nanyuki. I loved this place from the beginning. And it's one of my 2 favorite towns in Kenya. I want you to guess where the second one is. So when I came to Nanyuki, I already was familiar with the place. I'm not from here. I didn't really know anybody here other than the people I would meet when I come to Nanyuki. But since coming here, I have been integrated into the community. I've got great friends around me. I meet people, like really cool people. I love this place. I love the people. I love the warmth. I don't know whether it has anything to do with being around the equator, but they do say people who live around the equator are happier. And happy people also tend to want to make other people happy. I don't know, I'm just saying. But that's been my experience and I absolutely love it. So another thing that I love about this place is that I get to live next to a river. I know if you've seen any of my Facebook posts, there's a post that I was talking about a 10-acre piece of land in Daiga next to a river. And I love river land. Like, I love living next to a river. Like, you just sit here and I get to work here, read a book here. I get to chill here. Ninja just runs around. The compound is like open and it's just really beautiful. So yeah, if you're looking for land near a river or land anywhere in Nanyuki, I'll leave the link below and you can check out our platform and then see if there's anything there that would suit you. Coming to Nanyuki was a decision that I made because I wanted to not have to postpone doing my favorite things. So things like where I live, what I do and stuff like that. I usually think about life and the fickleness of life and think that I don't want to have to regret things or to think about the things that I had ideas and I didn't do them, or like I didn't live my life fully. So coming here, that was the thing for me, and that's why it was so quick for me to make that decision, and it's been so great. Like, the stars aligned for me to even be able to get a place like this, and even for the people that I've met, like, there is just so much. So first of all, because I get a lot of comments from people who want to move to Nanyuki in earlier videos that I've made, where they're asking me, like, where should I live, which neighborhood should I live. What I recommend is come to Nanyuki, spend time in Nanyuki, go around those neighborhoods yourself, because it's very hard for me to recommend. Can you afford a house in Muthaiga, or can you afford a house in a different area? I can't recommend where you can stay. All I can do is tell you, come here, spend some time, drive around the neighborhoods or go around the neighborhoods. I love to walk around the neighborhoods to get even more familiar with them. See the people who are there, see if there are any signs, like to let signs and stuff like that, because it's just much better that you see it yourself. Life in Nanyuki is a different pace. So one of the things that I found when I came here is you find a lot of businesses are closed on Sundays. You find most restaurants are closed on Mondays. People here aren't like greedy to the extent where they sacrifice their well-being or they sacrifice their starehe for their business. A lot of people do their businesses here because they have a passion for it and they love it. And you find like there's a different pace. You know, guys are not in so much of a hurry to like overshoot things and make a huge killing and con people. I've just found that people here are a bit more relaxed, a little bit more in tune with their wellness. Like, there's a lot of organic farmers markets and places where you can get like nice cool crafts, and And even in the supermarket, like you go to the supermarket, you don't even know the person and you're standing behind them, you acknowledge them. You're walking in town, you meet somebody, you don't even know them, you acknowledge them, like you make eye contact and smile. If you're on a that's funny. That's the Kikuyu in me. If you're on a lonely road and you're just walking and you meet somebody, it's almost standard to just say hello, be nice, acknowledge them. And that comes out very naturally. And no one's interested like in having that conversation. It's not that somebody's saying hello so that they can come and talk to you or whatever. No, it's like I acknowledge the human being in you. You know, it's nice. Another thing I love about Nanyuki is the fact that there's so much to do around here, like places to go and things to see. One of my favorite being Olpajeta, where you can see the big five, you can hang out with the rhinos, you can even touch them, like Baraka, you can touch and feed him. I sang happy birthday for him last year. It was really cool. You can also do like a picnic there. They've got camping sites. You can camp there. Like it's really nice. There are other conservancies as well. There's Loldaiga where they also have wildlife. They told me they have lions. I haven't been yet. I'm planning to go because I also want to get land in that direction. It's such a beautiful location. You've got Mount Kenya literally facing you, Loldaiga in the back, Aberdare over there. Like, oh my God, it's just paradise. So Loldaiga is another place. Lewa is another place, but Lewa you have to be staying inside. They don't do public tours, so you have to be residing within Lewa. They have those restrictions, but if you can afford it, you know, get a place in Lewa, come and spend the weekend. There's Oljogi where you can see the only bear in Kenya. There are like a number of other conservancies around. Garindare is really nice. You can swim in the, like they have the waterfall, there's the area with blue water, and you can swim in that mineral water because the water comes in through the rocks. So it's mineralized, and that's why it's like aqua blue if nobody has been swimming and like bringing the sand out from underneath. It's so magical. The first time I saw pictures about Garindare, I thought, that can't be it. This place can't be in Kenya. Until one time I went there and the water was blue. I was like, oh my God, it's actually true. So yeah, you can do that as well. There is Samburu National Park, where we went camping with some friends last year. Was it last year? It was this year actually, earlier this year. That was really cool. We set up a camp and we went out for a morning game drive, only to come back to the camp after the game drive to have breakfast. And then we find our camp has been taken over by elephants. The elephants we had gone out to look for, like they were at our camp. Like we had to wait for them to go because I couldn't get into the parking. And of course you don't want to be trapped between Ewasojiro River and an elephant, a herd of elephants with children. So yeah, so that was really cool. Another thing I love to do is like driving in Timau. I love driving on that road towards Meru. The wheat fields there, especially when you go when the wheat, before the wheat has been harvested or when it's still green, and there are these rolling hills of just green fields. It's magical. And then the horticulture and the greenhouses there, they grow lots of flowers for export in that area. So it's just expands. It's so nice. It's such a peaceful drive. And if you're adventurous, you can keep going and go till Isiolo. Just see how Isiolo is. It's a nice drive. The road is like Nyue all the way till Ethiopia. So you could still keep going and go till Marsabit, go till Moyale, spend the night in Moyale, go for breakfast, the best coffee in Ethiopia, and just like, oh, it's nice. Being here gives you access to all these things. It's also, if you look at the map and where Nanyuki is located, it's also very central in the country. So there are lots of roads that will take you to different parts of the country. So like I drove to Kilifi a while back to Vipingo, and I used a different route. You get to Karatina, you turn left, at this gas station, and you keep going on that road. You pass through Masinga, you pass through Kitui, you pass, and then you go and you join Mombasa Road somewhere, and then you take another diversion. Like, it was a really nice drive, and it's something that I encourage you to do. Like, this is your country. Explore your country, you know? You don't need a visa to cross counties or cross to different places. Explore your country. Don't just sit every weekend doing the same thing over and over again. Come to Nanyuki, hang out, spend a night or two, go to drive down to Isiolo or drive to a different part of the country. Go to Masinga. The roads were some of the best roads I have seen in Kenya. And I was driving in that direction at night. I was so impressed by how the roads are. Oh, it was the sunset. I even had to stop in the like on the side of the road and just take a picture. And then I saw a sign that says no photography. I was like, whoops. Okay. So yeah, so this place it's charming. There are lots of, it's cosmopolitan, so there's a mix of Westerners and locals, and by locals I mean people from all parts of Kenya, from Kisis, Luos, Kikuyus, Merus, Kambas, Maasais, Samburus. It's like a melting pot of all these people, including guys from the Yaku tribe. Do you know about the Yaku tribe? How can you not know about the Yaku tribe? It's the smallest recognized tribe in Kenya, or one of the smallest. But they're usually around Doldo. Now, what I learned about the guys in the Yaku tribe is that they are known to be good honey harvesters. So they would move around with the Turkanas and have this very good relationship. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, okay, it's gone. Have this good relationship where the Turkanas, or is it the Turkanas or the Maasais? Forgive me if I get that wrong, but the Turkanas would do the hunting for the meat, and they would go get honey and they share. So they live together that way until today. And if you meet guys from the Yaku tribe, first of all, the women are gorgeous. They are basically Ethiopians. In fact, the first time I saw ladies from the Yaku tribe, I was like, and they had the regalia, you know, the rings around their neck and everything. I thought they were Ethiopians. They really soft hair, curly hair, complexion, beautiful, beautiful women. So yeah, come check out Doldo too. It's not far from Nanyuki. Oh, and another thing that's really cool about Nanyuki is the history here. So this was one of the places where the Mau Mau had a stronghold, and they used to have meetings in this area, and they would do there was this place, oh yeah, there is Ninja. They would have these meetings in this area called Mau Mau caves. So they had these caves where they would either be tending to their injured or having secret meetings. And this place is beautiful, these big caves with mugumo tree roots that are falling to form like a curtain. So before the area was bombed, the mugumo trees, you could not see it from on top because it looked like just a forest, because the mugumo tree roots would hide these caves. Now you can still see part of it, but not as well as I imagined before the area was bombed, because somebody sold them and then they dropped a number of bombs. But those bombs have formed pools where you can swim. So there's like a waterfall, and now the water settles in those pools and you can swim in that area, which makes it even better, makes the experience even better. And there are other caves that I hear. There are other caves towards Meru. There's a place I went, but we got there a bit late and it was raining, so we didn't end up at the caves. But when we went there, we were told, yeah, that's what we were planning to do. And I think they have like team building activities in that area as well. And yeah, like Nanyuki is just, it's really cool. Oh, and another thing that I love about Nanyuki. So when I lived in Nairobi, I stopped going to the supermarket and I used to have my groceries delivered because it just took too long and I didn't enjoy wasting my time. So I didn't mind paying like the small fee to have my groceries delivered. I thought it was actually the best thing because it made me more productive. And honestly, if you live in Nairobi with the traffic these days and just the chaos inside supermarkets, I would encourage you to do the same. I used to use a company called Grocery Pick because I like Chandarana, so I don't know whether they still do it. But I started shopping in the supermarket again when I came to Nanyuki. Luckily, there's a Chandarana because I love Chandarana. And it usually takes me to do my monthly shopping. It usually takes me about 45 minutes from when I leave my house, go to Chandarana, park my car, pick my trolley, put things in my trolley, go to the cashier where there's rarely more than 2 people that I have to stand behind, and then get my shopping into the car, come home, and park 45 minutes. I timed it once. And I was so impressed. I'm like, this is great. There's no traffic to get to the supermarket. There are no lines at the supermarket, depending on the time you go. Even when you go at like the worst time, the most I've had to, like Quickmart, there's a Quickmart as well. The most I've had to do is like stand behind 5, 6 people with just hand baskets. And that wasn't even much. I didn't even stand there for too long. That's like one of the worst. That's when we complain, open another counter. That's how we are here. So yeah, so it's nice that you don't get that traffic. It's nice that you get to drive around and go to different places and see different things and interact with different tribes. It's nice that you get to live next to a river if you're so lucky. It's nice that you can buy land here. There's still land available, so do let me know if you're interested in getting land. I can always help you out with that because I have a platform that does just that, and we help people in the entire process. So everything from getting the right land, helping you book your site visit, helping you with the paperwork and everything that you require, all the way until the end, until your title. If you want a recommendation for a lawyers, surveyors, like all those guys, we have those as well. So we have people that we work with, we can recommend for you. Usually, like when I come here, sometimes I come and I just chill here. It's a nice place. Like this, my neighbor is the one who did this place. Let me show it to you. Okay, I don't know whether you can see. I'm just turning my phone. Yeah, there. It's beautiful, huh? So yeah, so I usually come here, and he's even done sockets and stuff like that. So there's lighting, I can charge my laptop and stuff, and I would come here and put a bottle of white wine in the river, just stick it in there. And then over time, it maintains its coolness and it gets a little bit chilly. And then at the end of a working day, I reward myself with a nice glass of wine as I enjoy something I'm watching online or reading a book or something. So today I couldn't do the same thing with my kombucha because I'm afraid it will end up going down the river. But yeah, that's how we live here. Because I get the question on Airbnb a lot, sometimes I'm asked about Airbnbs in Nanyuki. And I must say, there are 2 types of Airbnbs in Nanyuki. There's the apartment type, that's just, there's a lot of competition there. There are some, they're very affordable, but they tend to be in apartments. And they're good for business travelers or if you're on a budget. And then there's Airbnbs that are like next to a river, like mine, that have this like expanse. You've got a unique house and stuff like that. So when it comes to the unique Airbnbs, they tend to be, of course, higher value, and there's more money to be made in that area. So I would say that if you're coming to Nanyuki, if you decide you want to do an Airbnb, it's really good. It's a really good business, but you have to decide what side you want to play in. Do you want to play in the budget or do you want to play in the high-end market? If you're playing in the high-end market, location is very important because you don't want to be like in the bang of town with traffic. That's what people are running away from. Or in an apartment complex because, again, the high-end person has more disposable income and they want to relax. They want a place they can hang out with their friends and enjoy. So you decide and then you can pick a location. My plan is to to get really good locations for Airbnbs, like buy the land and then put up the Airbnbs myself. So that's my plan. And I shared this with a friend of mine who lives in the States. So she was like, I like your plan. I want to get involved. Can we partner up? So I'm like, okay, let me figure out how that works. But what, like one of the ideas that I would think, if you live in the diaspora and you have a group of friends and you can buy land as a group and then build many Airbnbs, like you can buy 5 acres, you can buy 10 acres, you can buy a bigger chunk of land, and then everybody like gets a share in the profits from that Airbnb. I think that would actually be a really good idea. You buy the land, you put up the Airbnbs, you market them, one person, you partner up with people also, and I think this is good. Like you partner up with people who have different skills that complement each other towards growing this business. So you might find one of your friends is very good in design, one of your friends is good in construction, DIY, that kind of thing. One of your friends has worked in hospitality, they're very good in that area. Somebody else is like good in marketing, so they can help market the place. Somebody else maybe is planning to come back home sooner, so they can keep their eye on this property and maybe be the one who manages it. So it's really nice if you get a group around you that has skills that complement the business that you're doing instead of conflicting. Because if you have like 2 marketers, then you start like conflicting on the different approaches that you want to make, or stuff like that. So yeah, I thought it was actually a good idea. So yeah, there you go. Lodges. There are lots of lodges in Nanyuki. So if you're coming to Nanyuki for the weekend, there are also like really nice lodges like Kinaragati, where you can go fishing. Places like Mukima House, where it's really beautiful. I went there. Places like Kinamayan, people who like that place a lot, Sarova Mayan. It's also really nice. I've stayed there a number of times before I even moved to Nanyuki. There's the landing that I went to the other day. It's just around the airstrip. It's really nice. Like the architect, I know the architect, and he took me to show it to me. I was like, this is nice. Like this is a nice design. So check out the landing as well. It's an Airbnb. I think they're on booking.com and stuff like that. There's so many lodges and hotels and places that you can go to. I'm looking up because the last time I was there were some monkeys up on the trees. What do you call them? The ones that are black and white with the long white tail, long hair, and they always look like an old man, all of them, like with white hair around here. Jeez. They're usually at Trout Tree. I love Trout Tree. In some restaurants, Trout Tree is really cool, and they have them there. There's one called Mariro who I like to go and feed, but now I've forgotten the name of the monkeys. Anyway, yeah, so restaurants, you've got Trout Tree, you've got Nook, you've got Jibs, you've got Blue Flame, you've got One Stop, you've got Barney's, you've got Antonia's Kitchen, you've got Lera Stick, you've got Soms, you've got Shop 14, and all these have such a different vibe. All these attract a different crowd. People in Nanyuki, this is the cool thing. You go to like Nook, you sit at the bar. You can't drink on your own. Like somebody will, unless you want to, but somebody will start a conversation. You'll get involved in a conversation happening across the bar. Like people just talk to each other. Blue Flame, you go to Blue Flame. We were sitting at the bar with my friend. We had gone there on a random day, and we're just sitting down and we're catching up. And there's this other guy who comes and sits there, and like you acknowledge each other. Like I mentioned, people in Nanyuki just don't snob each other, they acknowledge each other. And the next thing, we start this conversation, he gets involved in the conversation, his friend comes, he gets involved in the conversation, other friends come, they get involved. I end up meeting some guy who lives in Tanzania, who was staying there temporarily. He works in Tanzania, so he had come for business, and they also have accommodation. Like the next thing is like, there's a party of people who you didn't know before, but now you're like it's 2 a.m. in the morning and you guys are having a good time. So yeah, so that's the vibe. Like, that's what happens. You go to Jibs, man, I sat next to this guy in Jibs one time. I went for lunch and I was on my own reading a book. So I'm sitting there just reading my book, and he comes and he sits next to me on the table next, and I don't even know how we started talking. I think he asked me what book I was reading or whatever, and we start talking, and turns out he's a strawberry farmer. He brought me the most delicious strawberries from Timau. Export quality. You know those big strawberries that we never get here? Big, red, juicy, the ones you see in movies that they cover with chocolate? Yeah, those ones. I was like, oh my gosh. So that's life in Nanyuki. Man, gosh, I have so many stories. As in, since I came here, I can't even believe. It's just, honestly, I love this place. I really, really love this place. And sometimes I have friends who come here, and I'm telling you this as a warning. They come here and they decide they want to move to Nanyuki too. So if you come here or you're watching this video, I know you're probably thinking booking a trip or coming and moving to Nanyuki. I highly recommend it. I'm giving you the warning just so that you know, like, how you're gonna have that conversation if you're married with your husband or wife, or how you're gonna have that conversation with your employer when you say you're going to move to Nanyuki and you want to work 100% remote. Yeah, but you can make it happen. I mean, people have done more difficult things like fighting for independence and coming up with vaccines and treating diseases. And like my friend who had open heart surgery the other day, by the way, hats off to Aga Khan, the cardiovascular, the head of the cardio surgery unit. I forget his name now. Duncan? I can't remember his name, but that guy and what he's done for Aga Khan's heart surgery unit and the amount of care, and like, it's incredible. So my friend had open heart surgery, and he came out of it, him and his wife were like, they came out of it just, one, grateful to be alive, but two, grateful for the care that they received at Aga Khan, including the nurses. In fact, the wife was telling me that she could not believe the nurses are so friendly versus somewhere else they had been for treatment before. So I won't mention where, but I'm sure you can guess. But yeah, I just thought I would give a special mention. I love it when people enjoy what they do, they're making a difference, and they do it with their whole heart. Like, that always makes me want to stop and just salute that person. And if I ever meet that guy, if you get this video and you do come to Nanyuki, please, I would love to meet you and have lunch with you and show you around, show you my town, show you what this place is about. Yeah, so that's Nanyuki. I guess I'll make more videos around this and just share more of what life can be like for you when you move to Nanyuki. Karibu.